Welcome back. We are almost at the end of our factoring series. Today we're going to cover our last method, guess and check using the criss-cross method. Let's begin. We're going to learn how to use the guess and check method to factor polynomials. I'm going to use the criss-cross method, which is like the box method a little bit. You should already know how to multiply polynomials using the FOIL method, and adding and subtracting polynomials is key as well. Suppose I need to multiply using the FOIL method, 2x plus 1 times 3x plus 5. First is 2x times 3x, outer is 2x plus 5, inner is 1 times 3x, and last is 1 times 5, giving me 6x squared plus 13x plus 5. Let's take another look at this. Okay, so suppose I start with my binomials ordered vertically, and first 2x times 3x, then outer, 2x times 5, then inner, 3x times 1, then last, 1 times 5. So to find our inner and outer terms, we crisscrossed across the binomials. We can use this as a structure, similar to the box method, to use educated guesses to factor our polynomials. The key is to find the right terms in all four corners, and that can be a little bit of a brain tickle. We know a lot about multiplying positive and negative integers, so we can use that to strategize a little bit when we're trying to choose what goes in the boxes on the crisscross. So we do know that when you expand a trinomial, if the second sign is positive, it means that both of your original factors have the same sign. They'll either both be negative or both be positive. We also know that if you expand and your second sign is negative, it's because your factors have different signs. Okay, we're going to use that to fill in our crosses. And remember, this is the guess and check method for a reason. It might take a little bit of time to get it right, but just keep trying. We're going to factor u squared plus 12u plus 35. First, I check for a GCF. I don't have one, and then that my polynomial is in standard form. Next, I'll list my factors. My first term has factors of u and u. Now, I look at my signs to look for the factors of my second. My second positive sign tells me that they're both the same and that they're both positive. So my factors of 35 are 1 and 35. My first two factors are easy to choose, u and u. And then I'm thinking 1 and 35, that's going to create a really big linear term. So I'm going to choose 5 and 7 instead because I want to get to 12u. Remember, I multiply u times 5 to get 5u and 7 times u to get 7u. Add them together, 12u, which matches my middle term. So I'm good. To fill in my binomial, I'll pull u plus 5 from the top and u plus 7 from the bottom. Let's try another. 10d squared plus 10d minus 3. Checking for GCF and that my polynomial is in the right form, I'm good. Time to look at my factors. My factors of 10d squared are just d and 10d, or 2d and 5d. My second sign tells me that my factors of negative 3 have different signs, obviously. And because my first sign is positive, I think that the larger number in the pair will probably be positive. Could be wrong. The factors of negative 3 are negative 1 and 3, or 1 and negative 3. D and 10D will create a huge middle term, and you can see my middle term is tiny. So I'm going to try 5D and 2D, and negative 1 and positive 3. The sum of 6d and negative 5d, 6d there, negative 5d is positive d, so I win. I can gather my terms, 5d plus 3 and 2d minus 1. So you can see it's really about choosing those terms, okay? Let's look at our next example. 3t squared minus 14t plus 8. Check for my GCF, nothing. It's in the right form. Let's look at our factors. So 3t squared just has t and 3t. My second sign tells me that my factors of 8 have the same sign, and because my first sign is negative, they're both negative. So that's negative 1 and negative 8, or negative 2 and negative 4. I'm going to use negative 2 and negative 4. I multiply across, I get negative 4t and negative 6t, which gives me negative 10t. Ooh. That is wrong. Okay, I was hasty. I chose too quickly. Let me try this again. I'm going to switch -2 and -4. I think that's going to get me where I need to go. Okay, -2t, -12t, -14t. That's right. Okay, so we've got a winner. So we're going to take 3t minus 2 and t minus 4, and we are fully factored. Factor 12a squared minus 7ab minus 10b squared. No GCF, and it's in standard-ish form. So now let's look at my factors. 12a squared has a12, 2a, 6a, 3a, and 4a. My negative sign before 10b squared tells me that I need opposite signs for my factors of 10b squared. So I have these 4 choices. Now, looking at my factors of -10b squared, I have to choose between 2b and -5b or b and -10b. -b and 10b will create a big middle term, so I'm going to choose 2b and -5b. As far as my first factor, I could choose any of them, but I'm going to go with 3a and 4a. It's a guess, remember? So 3a and 4a, -5b and 2b. I'm going to go ahead and crisscross and cross my fingers. Oh, thank God. My sum is -7ab. My middle term matches. I can grab my binomial. This was our final lesson on factoring non-perfect square trinomials. Up next, it's time to review all of our strategies and create some guidelines on how to use them. Which method is best is our last video in the series, and I will see you then.